OK, and the report will present a list of all the transactions within the date range. It will also include any transactions with an earlier date that haven't already been included in an earlier final GST period. A good idea with this report is to group your transactions by code order, and you will be able to see for each code the different types of GST that you have applied, or by GST type, where it sorts all your transactions by their GST type. This is my preferred way of doing a GST audit to check that you have applied the correct GST type to each transaction. Once a final copy has been printed, these transactions are locked away, still allowing us to edit the transaction, but not altering the GST effect. If you have made a mistake with a transaction and sent it off to non-revenue, you must correct it in the next GST report. It is a good idea to print this report and carefully check it before you run the final copy. If you find you have made a mistake and haven't yet posted it to the IRD, phone up the help desk and they will assist you to unfinal the report. For those people with several years' worth of data, it's worth visiting the Trends report. Each year will appear in a separate column across the top and will highlight changes over the years. Farmers who buy and sell livestock might be interested in looking at the stock trading report. It shows the opening numbers on hand, any weights that we have recorded, and summarises the livestock transactions in the cash book. Now last, but not least, are the accountant's annual and accountant's interim. The accountant's interim report is intended for quarterly reporting, with each quarter being locked away in a final copy. I'm going to make a new reporting period for the last quarter. This report brings together all the transactions within this date range and checks that it is balanced. In this case, it is not. This is because we haven't actually finished the month of June yet. And on following pages, it lists all the transaction details for transactions that belong in this reporting period. This report is entirely on the cash basis, only using the payment date as the selection criteria. A useful option in the interim report is to sort and group all the transactions by the accountant's numeric code. In this form, the transactions are sorted and grouped together according to the accounting code, ignoring the farmer's cash manager code. To set up this option, we need to go to the Setup Codes menu. Then click on the Tools button and click on Edit Export Codes. And in this table, for every income and expenditure code, we can record the corresponding accountant's numeric income and expenditure codes. The accountant's annual report is intended for reporting at the end of the financial year. It is actually a combination of a number of reports. You can report on the accrual basis, which takes notice of the financial year-end adjustments, or on the cash basis, which takes notice of the transaction date. This option takes no notice of the financial year-end adjustments and is the option most accountants prefer. This first page just checks that it all balances and reconciles. Then it lists a summary of all the code totals and associated quantities. It confirms that all the bank statements are balanced, and then lists code by code all of the transactions that have been recorded during the financial year. Before you print and send this report off to your accountant, we strongly encourage you to check that the coding is consistent and logical, and that the transactions have clear comments and descriptions, and complex transactions have detailed notes.